To make the wii-mote gun, I just took a Konami Justifier and I cut the top off here, right below the barrel, saving the trigger in order to use it later for the trigger. The other component that holds the wii-mote is an M&M's minis tube. And we cut it along this line and then cut mostly along here and here, leaving a little bit at the back here. We also want to cut this large rim off, and that will come off like this, leaving just this back end here with the hinge, because that's what's going to pull our trigger for us. After we make all the cuts, we get a piece that looks a little like this. Here's our bit of a lid left for our hinge, and the whole system opens up like that to take our wii-mote inside, and it holds it very firmly. Also, we can notch little notches here and here that'll fit into notches on the wii-mote, making it a very tight fit. Once you have the line cut at the top and it all cut out ready, you'll want to put a hole in the bottom directly opposite of the slit, and that's where your line from your trigger. I have here a piece of fishing line. It's kind of hard to see, but I tied the fishing line onto the trigger and I taped off the excess so that it will stay tied. Sometimes if you pull very hard on one of these knots, they can come undone, so leaving a long bit of extra line helps them to not come undone. And I just put a piece of electrical tape around there to keep everything tight and neat. Just as normal, you put your Justifier together with the trigger in it after tying the line to your trigger. You see, if I pull on the line here, I get my trigger action. Very neat. So at this point, we want to screw this in. Okay. So now that that's screwed on there, let's stay together. We feed the line through the hole in our bottom of our M&M's tube and out towards the trigger bit. Sorry, the trigger pulling lever. I left this tail on the back of my M&M's tube here, so that I could put it right here into this hole, and that could help hold my barrel more steady. It goes on there, and when I did it, I just did it with tape, but there's a lot of really good putties and stuff that you could use to hold that on better. Kind of looks like a flare gun. And then this would just tie off in here. I have a little notch actually. You can put a hole in there and put it through the hole as well. It's a little hard working with the line and getting it perfect. You're going to want exactly the right tension on it. So you got to put it in exactly the right spot. Tie some very small knots with it. But when you're done, you'll end up with something basically like that. When I pull the trigger, the little nub at the end there moves, and that will pull the B button on our wii-mote. We see the back here is entirely open, so that we can use our nunchaku in there, or any other extensions we want. So that's basically how that one works. And after making that one, I've decided to expand my weaponry, I would say, I guess, and make this one. Now this one is a prototype made entirely of cardboard and popsicle sticks. Using the same style of triggering method on the inside, where I have my trigger deep in here, And it's basically just a popsicle stick that's curved a bit. I did that with just some hot water, bent it over and let it dry back out again. And I put a hole in it, tied my fishing line to that. On the bottom here I put a paint stick, stir stick, just for some stability. The cardboard is not great for that. Just cut a little hole in it here for my trigger, and that was all it needed. And at the end, for a lever, I just used a small piece of popsicle stick, and that did really good. Again, you could use a piece of plastic from an M&M's tube or anything like that if you were worried about wood on plastic. But otherwise, I've strengthened it with a bunch more popsicle sticks and hot glue. The reason there's a track in here, you see popsicle sticks on either side, is the fishing line is running right down here, down the center, underneath this as well, and right here to the trigger. So there's a fishing line running down the bottom of all that. You just can't see it right now, unfortunately. But yeah, really, really simplistic design. Easy to make at home. I made it so it would take the wii-mote. And you see there's a U cut out here. I don't know if you can actually see that. There's a U cut out there, so that when you put your wii-mote in, I can get it in with one hand. Get the wii-mote in. You can still plug in your nunchaku right there. And just to make sure that the wii-mote stays in and for overall general stability, I have this sliding piece that goes right over, and that holds everything in really tight, so you can reload if you're playing Resident Evil or whatever. And as you can see, the triggering mechanism still works just as well. I kind of like when I hold this gun to hold the nunchaku like this, and that way I get a very good stable shot. And I guess I'll plug in the good nunchaku so you can see how that looks. I didn't like the Wii Zapper because the Wii Zapper has the nunchaku behind the trigger, which just to me, as a right-handed person, didn't make any sense at all. So, and that's just how it all hooks up. It's really stable. Actually, for a lot of games I find just going like that reloads for you. If you have to wiggle to reload or anything like that, it's really good. Then of course you have all your button abilities down here as well. So those to come apart. So that's a lot of fun. This one is really easy to make, a lot of fun. This is just a bunch of cardboard with tape around it, and then I just hot glued a lot of this. But you could lacquer it or make it out of a different thing like the corrugated plastic, and it would be a lot more sturdy. A lot of fun. Give it a try. And let me know if you make it better in any way.
Being used. It's a shotgun.
You want to use this one? This one?
Take whatever you want. We're going to be fighting a boss who really needs like a high... we would probably want a shotty or a machine gun for him.
Alright, take a shotty.
That's a rocket launcher.
Okay, that's not what I want.
I'm playing with the shotgun.
Just choose another weapon. Just choose one of the shotties if you want. Take one with 95. It's not a lot of rounds.
There we go.
74. Same thing.
Oh.
I think that one's better though.
Playing with the cardboard shotgun.
It's an assault rifle.
Assault rifle. I'm sorry.
I know, eh?
We went through range on that when I shot it.
Yeah.
I was just seeing if you could go. Like you take it down. Oh, there's two of them? Look like one.
Three of them all running in the exact same
I know,
spot.
Look weird. Now you get headshots a lot easier, eh?
Yeah.